My name is Richard GRABMEIER. I'm 85 years old and an Army veteran who trained students in both the United States and in Vietnam. I'm the author of The Prophet and the Warrior, which is one of 4 books that I've written. I am from Albany, Minnesota. I was born in Farming Township, Minnesota, which is just a few miles away. I grew up on a small farm where everybody in the family worked to earn their keep, so to speak. By that I mean the older boys in the family might be plowing fields and the like, and the little spunky ones like me were feeding chickens and all this sort of thing. Working in the garden, which I still do. Like I said, we all worked together on a small farm. It was a poor farm, actually. It was nothing like the big, huge ones you see on television today. Everybody worked, everybody did what they could do. They supported each other. And when we were all through working, we'd go to church. After church, we might go and visit the neighbors. And hopefully they had kids like us, which they did, because I was raised in a Catholic neighborhood and they all had large families. When I was growing up, for us kids to have fun or to do things, we had to figure things out for ourselves, do the things that we thought would be interesting. If it was called snap the whip, where we'd all line up in a row and take a hold of the electric fencer, and the last one in the line got snapped bad, that was part of it. We did this sort of thing. We rode heifers in the field. We skied behind horses, everything that we could figure out. Because of that, we had to use our minds for our own purposes. While I was in the military, I went in for diesel equipment training, and I got it, and I was the second highest person in my class of 30. But after that, I was selected to be an assistant instructor. From there, I went to instructor. After a year, I got the Outstanding Instructor Award for the engineer school. Then I was on the list to go to MAG, Military Assistance Advisory Group, and I was sent to Vietnam. I was in Vietnam as a trainer before the conflict really got going. This was in 1957. The conflict got going hard later. That does not mean we didn't have Viet Cong, because we did. The second week I was there, they bombed the hotel lobby. We're abroad in civilian clothes because our government didn't want the Viet Cong to know how many military people they had there. When we were working to set up the school, and I had to do a lot of writing class material. Being an author was the farthest thing in my mind. I never thought of it until I thought I would write a book about my grandfather, Peter Olaf. And I found out that I had a talent for writing novels. And so I continued on from there. Writing training materials, accuracy and completeness is important. It's the most important feature because they're trying to tell somebody how to do something or how something works. If you're writing novels, you don't have to do quite that much, but you can't be totally inaccurate either because people will see through it and they'll say this is a crappy novel. Discipline is absolutely important if you're writing a book or doing any serious endeavor, because without discipline, you're going to quit. If you seriously want to write, do it. But if you don't seriously want to write, don't do it, because you're just wasting your time and you'll never get anything published. When you decide to write a book, it might take years to write a book. At 85, I'm retired, but I try to keep active, and writing is a way of doing it. Other than that, for a little respite from the writing, I like to garden. I've got a garden going on out there. The first thing I look forward to is that morning cup of coffee and having some breakfast, which most often I make. I'm a fairly good short order cook, but all of the really good fancy stuff I leave to my wife, of course. The second thing I look forward to is sack time, going to bed, because by that time I'm usually exhausted. The Prophet and the Warrior is a fictional history of Moses and Joshua. It brings out parts about Moses and Joshua that the average person does not know. It was a brutal time in history. I was inspired to research and write the book after I started reading the Bible seriously. And that was probably when I was 50 or 60 years old. we get closer to death, we think more about these things. And so I started reading, and I was appalled by what I found about the prophet and the warrior, about Moses and Joshua. I had thought that they were a couple of nice guys, good leaders. That they were more than that. They were very tough, hard people. When I started reading the Bible seriously, with a critical viewpoint, I was disappointed in what my religious training had been. I didn't feel that my religious upbringing covered all the truth, just parts of the truth. It made me want to do right. And so I wanted to dig out all the information that I could find about the prophet and the warrior. And so I based the book on the Bible King James Version. I might bounce ideas off from Mary, my wife, or Cyril, a very good friend. But as far as deciding what to put in the book, I do it.
I have been friends with Richard and Mary for many, many years. I got to know Richard and Mary through my daughters that went into Albany High School, where Mary was an English teacher. Richard would talk to me in the morning before we'd go to work, and we would talk about his book. We would get together in the morning, and we would sit there, and Richard would have his coffee, and Mary, and we would start talking about his book. And from there, he used to ask for opinions, and we would toss them back and forth, and we would just toss our ideas back and forth, and he would take it from there.
I cook it up in my own head, and I don't know what's going down on paper until I write it. The dialogue is a Midwestern type dialogue. It's the way people speak now, the way they interact with each other, this sort of thing. Because I couldn't write it in the old Jewish language, and I couldn't think of the situations in it the way they did. So I had to write it the way I thought it would have gone down.
And while reading the book, you know, it's amazing how you put yourself in the setting itself, and you feel like you're just right in the book with the characters. It's a great, great book.
What I want them to take away is something they probably haven't been doing. I want them to read either the Bible or whatever literature with an inquiring mind, to look at it critically and objectively.
The Prophet and the Warrior is quite an interesting book. It sure opened my eyes as to what religion I was believing in and was taught for many, many years. You know, it'd be very interesting if everyone could just read the book. It'll open your eyes. I invite everybody to read that book. It'll not disappoint.
If you are a serious reader, consider buying and reading a copy of The Prophet and the Warrior. It has lessons to be learned. You can buy the books from the publisher through Amazon, from most bookstores. They may not have it in stock, but they will be able to get it for you. It's well worthwhile